Hey HR Talks with Leash family, I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is a little bit different because this is the start of my personal reflection series where I express my thoughts through poetry. So I was having a bit of a difficult time adjusting to my new role in September because in my previous role, I didn't feel like I was challenged enough and I didn't get the opportunity to do enough tasks that I think are relevant to become a HR business partner. So I got my new role. Thank God I got my new role. And you have to jump into things that you're not necessarily ready for, because at the end of the day, you need to be challenged to get to the next level in your career. And I knew that. But things were just a little bit challenging for me to start off with. And due to that, my mental health took a little bit of a toll. With my mental health, I'm very quiet about how I deal with it. Like, I don't really talk to people too much about it because I feel that it makes me look weak. But actually, I think there is a strength in acknowledging how you're actually feeling and being able to share it with others. And in the first instance, I said to myself, do you know what? I want to meditate. Let me start meditating because I don't know what that could do. That could really change things for me and I could feel more at ease and more calm. So that was my initial first thing to do in that time period when I was getting very, very emotional and kind of like, oh, I can't do this job. Like, I'm not good at what I'm doing. I might get fired. Like, I get all these thoughts in my head a lot of the time. And I know it might not seem like I'm that kind of person, because I think on YouTube everyone sees me as a confident, outgoing individual who communicates well, but when it comes down to it, it's not always like that for me. I've been dealing with my emotions for quite some time, since a young age, but I've just never really expressed it. So I'm expressing it on my channel because I think there might be some other people out there on my channel who also sometimes feel mentally drained and don't feel like they're good enough or confident enough to do the roles that they are doing right now, or don't feel confident enough to go to the next step because they feel they're not capable. I think we have to fight those thoughts and those feelings, and that is what my poetry is all about. So when I was in that time of meditation, words were rhyming in my head and I was like, God, wow, you're giving me you're giving me the ability to rhyme and make my emotions, make them, express them in a way I never thought I could do. So when I started hearing the rhyming in my head, I said, you know what, Alicia, get a pen and paper and start writing things down. And that's when I wrote my first poem. And from that day, I just kept writing poetry based on my feelings and my emotions around my anxieties and the stress I was feeling. And it made me feel better and more powerful, because the way I write is I write how I'm feeling, but I write that that's not the end and you can overcome this. That's how I kind of write, and you'll see, because I'm going to present a few poems to you today. But basically, I am putting this on my channel because I want to help HR professionals who are feeling low. I know there's a few professionals out there who've reached out to me in the past who've said, you know, Alicia, I just don't feel like I've got the confidence to do this position. I don't feel like I'm capable. And this poetry is to help and uplift you. This is why I decided to share it. Because I think ultimately, at the end of the day, this channel, we're on a journey. You know, I've been on a journey. I've been very vulnerable with all of you about my steps and how I felt. If you've looked at my vlogs, you can actually see that I've felt a bit unsure about my position in HR sometimes, but we can't let those thoughts allow us not to thrive and get to that next level. So I'm now expressing that. So I hope you enjoy these two poems that I'm going to present to you today. I'm going to make this a weekly occurrence. So every week I'm going to be sharing some poetry that I think will resonate with you. And please let me know if this is something that you do resonate with, and if you do feel like, you know, wow, that uplifted me, or that made me feel a bit more powerful. You know, like, I just hope this helps anybody, even if it's just one person, because I think it's important that you acknowledge that you might be going through something, but it's okay. And people like me, who you might put on a pedestal and think, wow, she's doing X, Y, and Z. I also go through these emotions. So I just want to be real with you and share that. By the way, I just want to know if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm reading my poetry, because I haven't memorized it all yet. So I am strong. I am bold. I am courageous. I've defied the odds and come to terms with a new revelation. That all I need, all I hope for, and all that I dream is within. It's taken some time to realize it, but it's time to begin. To practice a daily affirmation. It's time to make a confirmation. That I am strong, I am bold, I'm courageous. 2025 will be the year that I craft this declaration. Into my heart, into my soul, and make it my self-identity. That I will break down the barriers and generational curses that try to take a hold of me. And reclaim my power, write my destiny, design a new route and a life of longevity by taking small steps to unleash my creativity that inspires and impacts the world, to acknowledge that there are some thoughts that are held in the mind that I don't need to listen to. Let the thoughts flow, but only decide to be accustomed to your real truth. Speak life over yourself. Allow the positive energy to flow. Speak life over yourself. Ignite the fire, ignite the glow. Life is a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's filled with difficulties, but actually, that's the beauty in life. As beyond the difficulties are possibilities, to see beyond our current capabilities, we can discover new abilities that inspire us to think differently, changing our lives indefinitely, giving way to new opportunities. Don't ever stop. Don't ever give up. Allow your mind to wander, allow it to ponder on new findings about yourself. It's your destiny. You are made to make mistakes, but that's what allows us to grow. So that's my poetry for you this week, and I think Speak Life and I'm Strong, I'm Bold, I'm Courageous are poems that are supposed to uplift you in a time where you don't feel that you've got all the power within you to do great things, because actually we always do. We've always got the power inside of us to be great and to be our best selves. So I wrote those poems because I wanted to remind myself that everything that I need is already within me. It's just about how do I unleash it and how do I realize my potential. And by reading this poetry, it gives me a spark. Like, I'm just like, wow, you know what, Alicia, you've got it all within you. Because to be honest, I didn't even know I had it in me to write poetry in this way. When I was younger, I used to write like plays, and I used to write songs with my sister. But poetry wise, I didn't think that I'd ever kind of come back to this creative side of me in this way. Especially how I can come up with the poetry like that. Like, once I start meditating and if I get a word in my head, I can sit down and write something relating to that connects with my soul and who I am. So I really hope that you got something from today's poetry / spoken word. Comment down below if this is something that you like and it's something that you want me to keep doing, because I'm just testing the waters here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed those two poems, and I will see you in my next video.